do this.
I just really liked how the greens are so very prominent, and then his orange collar that he wears, and the color of the water and whatever. So just a really nice recipe.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Natalie.
Oh my goodness gracious me. We thought this was fitting already looking back at Thursday, but seems like
Yes.
bugs are just, chasing us at the moment. Hello, Ritchie. Good to see you again.
Hello. Yeah, all sorts of gremlins. But we're here live. We made it, and I'm glad you guys out there watching were able to make it as well. Thank you for tuning in and jumping links and all that stuff at the last minute.
Yes, absolutely. We're really, really sorry. So whatever happened last Thursday was the one thing, but tonight we were hit with load shedding, and schedules are being changed and swapped around at the last minute. So so we were supposed to be back on in time to live stream properly at the correct time, but as you know, this didn't happen. So, but here we are at last. Here we are. I always say Africa is not for sissies. Well, a lot of people around here say that, and this is proof. And I think if you combine that with live streaming, it's like, okay. Yeah. Building.
Yeah, we got, we're coming from 2 different continents, and, all this stuff's got to cross such a long distance. And it's amazing that we can do this,
Yes, it is. Against all odds, we are doing it.
Yeah.
So don't stand in our way. We are coming to you live from Johannesburg and from Phoenix, Arizona. It is wonderful to be back. And even though it was unfortunate that last week ended abruptly, but at least we get to do it again. And so, so we are asking you where you're tuning in from. Who's all with us after all these, we're challenging you. It's like keeping up with where on earth are they live streaming? Tell us where you are tuning in from. What's your weather like where you are? Is it day, night, evening? And so the question is, Ritchie, coffee or beer? What are you drinking?
We got coffee.
Coffee!
Hey!
Well, that's good. I should be on something a lot stronger, but it's water for me at the moment. Randy managed to find us. Hello, Randy.
Yay!
And from Morro
Thanks
Bay,
for joining us.
California, sunny California.
And that's such a beautiful place. Morro Bay is just absolutely lovely.
It's awesome. And
Stephen's with us.
Stephen also managed to be with us.
That was exciting.
Yes, rather. Let's not measure my pulse at the moment, but tuning in and for being here with us. It's absolutely fantastic. I want to challenge you in, since we are, in the spirit of the Soccer World Cup, where countries are, being, playing, and with the countries come the flags. So, Ritchie, I'm wondering if you have an appetite to play some more flag challenges, and if we should ask people to go with flags.
One thing is, I'm not very good at this game. We discovered that. We discovered that a while ago.
Yeah, I just thought, for all the soccer fans out there, if you are, it's a time when we are exposed to flags a little bit more. So maybe we should. There's Nick. He's with us. He's also got power again.
Well, yeah, and he shared his flag. So
yes. Well, this is an easy one. Thank you. Maybe we've got a few. Joe's here from Maryland. He could show us his flag.
Hello, Joe.
We should be okay there.
So thanks for tuning in, Joe.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're up for it, throw a flag at us. Don't expect us to know what flag it is, but practice makes perfect. One way or another. So so this is where we're at. So we almost managed to finish last week's show, but it was a bit of a bumper, and clearly the cyberspace thought, okay, enough, the two of you already. So we are we're finishing off the episode. We were in the swing of things of talking about Ektachrome. And because we didn't get to finish it, we thought if someone wants to really get to know a bit more about it, we serve it to you in one serving, not in bite sizes. So we will start again just chatting about the recipe in general. And but before we jump into that, there is one quick question that I wanted to ask, because maybe just like a lot of you out there, readers of your blog, Ritchie, know that you've made pictures. And we all know, you cannot hide, we all know that you've got it. And we all know that you've got a few images with it. So, there it is. So tiny. So small and already an XT5.
XT5. You could, I guess, see how it compares to the XE4. It's kind of a little bigger and heavier.
Yeah, and a bit bulkier. Not the XE4 now looks really flat.
Yeah, it's skinnier. It's not as big. All the dimensions are smaller on it, and it doesn't have like the grip and that kind of stuff. But nice. I kind of like the smaller size myself. I like it for travel. It fits easy into a small camera bag. You could take it with you, throw it in a pocket, that kind of stuff. If your pocket's large enough. The XT5, you can't do that, but it maybe is a better grip for like bigger lenses and that kind of stuff.
So just to sum it up in, 5 words, what's the very first impression? I know you haven't had a lot of time to shoot with it yet, so it's way too early to give a proper review, but what is your initial feel so far? No pressure.
So I just want to make that clear that I've only had it for a few days. I haven't really had a chance to put it to the test. I haven't even attempted any of the continual autofocus tracking things. 40 megapixels. Actually, I was impressed by how quickly those large files transfer on the Cam Remote app. It's about the same time, if not slightly quicker, than X-Trans 4, which kind of blew my mind a little bit on that one. It's not nearly as quick as like the XT1, but I timed it, and I was very impressed with the speed of those big files transferring to my phone. But they are bigger files, and they did take longer than to upload to the cloud. But the main thing I wanted to test first, and the reason I bought the camera, was for a nostalgic negative, the new film simulation. I wanted to try it. I initially just had it set at for the first few pictures, set at the default. And I was actually kind of let down, disappointed a little bit. I thought it was going to be more nostalgic, I guess, looking, more vintage looking. But then I was like, well, maybe it's like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree, it needs a little love and a bunch of Snoopy's ornaments and lights and stuff, and then then the tree will look good. And so I started playing with the settings, looking at how different things affect the aesthetic of it, and I was able to create a few different looks already just playing around with it that I really like. And so just default base, straight out of the box, classic or a nostalgic negative isn't my favorite, but once you tweak those things, tweak the settings of it, it actually can look really, really good.
Okay. So we can get excited for lots of new looks, recipes, and the like coming our way. That's
Definitely.
Great stuff indeed. Apparently mine is still somewhere in the deep blue. Well, hopefully not in, but on the deep blue.
No, above the deep blue.
Yeah, so I must say I was excited, but I'm like, yeah, no, it can come whenever it can come. But there is so much hype out there that I'm just okay. Where is it? Where is it? So we'll see.
Hopefully soon.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'm sure. Yes, but I think let's jump into where we left off. And that is Ektachrome 100SW. We have two different settings for Extrons 3 and 4 and 4 Extrons 2 sensors, which you can play around with. And and Ektachrome is one of those big names out there in the film world, a very loved look and film stock, which it's just absolutely wonderful to play with. So obviously we want to give this a try as well. And we said that it is useful for very many occasions, like coming off the back of Fujichrome Sensia 100, where we had a few more specific locations where the recipe definitely shined extremely well. With Ektachrome, we can expect it to be really good in more than one situation, more of an all-rounder. So should we have a look at some of the images?
Sure, but before we get too deeply into this, I think, even though we talked about it at the end of the last episode of part 1, I think it would be worth kind of rehashing here at the beginning of part 2 so Ektachrome is a name that Kodak has given to different emulsions for a long, long time. And there's been over 40 different emulsions that have had the Ektachrome name. And so this particular recipe is after a specific, is kind of modeled or is supposed to look like one particular emulsion that was called Ektachrome 100SW. It was made in the late 90s and early 2000s, and it has a warm tone to it, and it's also vibrant. Not as much so as like a film like Velvia or even Ektachrome 100 VS. It's not quite as vibrant as those, but still quite vibrant and warm. And so the SW actually stands for saturated and warm. They don't make this film anymore. They followed it up with 100, Ektachrome 100. I believe it was GX, was a similar emulsion, but not exactly the same. And then you mentioned in the last episode that there was a new one called Ektachrome 100D. But researching that's actually a cinema version of Ektachrome that's got like the remjet layer and that kind of stuff on it.
Yes, if I can just, I also had another look, and I also came across that this is in for like Super 8 and whatever.
Yeah.
Stuff. I got too excited too quickly, but
yeah, no, that's okay.
There is an Ektachrome E100 that seems to be So
it's different. It's a little different. It's gonna be less warm. Gonna really have those blues. Are gonna look really good in it. Just because Ektachrome was less warm than Kodachrome, and then the Ektachrome 100SW was more warm, even more warm than Kodachrome a little bit. But yeah, so it's just interesting. I find the history of it to be very interesting. I don't know if any of you guys in the audience find that history to be kind of a fascinating topic, but I like diving into that. I've always kind of had a fascination with history a little bit, and especially when it comes to photography. And then you mentioned also that this is a very versatile recipe. It's because it uses, or part of the reason is, I would say, is that it uses the auto white balance. A lot of recipes don't use auto white balance, some do, and the ones that do tend to be the most versatile. This one in particular, I think, is really good for a lot of different things, a lot of different subjects and lighting scenarios. And so I think you guys shooting with this recipe will really like it. And it might be like a standard one that you use. There's a X-Trans 2 recipe, and then there's an X-Trans 3 recipe. In order to use that recipe on the XT3 and XT30, the X-Trans 3 version, you'll have to set color chrome effect to off. If you want to use it on the newer X-Trans 4 or even X-Trans 5, additionally, you'll have to set color chroma effect blue to off, clarity to 0, and pick a grain size, and I would suggest small.
And then you can still use it. So don't think...
And then you can still use it.
You cannot use this recipe if you have a new camera. You'll just have to do adjust a few more settings, but you definitely can.
Absolutely.
And what we're looking at here is one of Ritchie's shot that he actually shot with the actual slide film. So what it kind of like would have looked like. But we want to look a little bit closer up. So let's zoom into it a little bit, because when you look at it, I saw that image. The moment I saw it was like, wow, this is so 3D. It's got so much definition and depth to it. And I think this is definitely part of the characteristics of the film. Absolutely stunning. Obviously a stunning landscape to photograph as well.
So that's a Grand Canyon for anybody who doesn't immediately recognize what it is. One of the 7 natural wonders of the world, or whatever it is. I captured this in the year 2000 using a Canon AE1 and a 50 millimeter lens, using the actual Ektachrome 100SW film. I just happened to have had this particular slide scanned several years back, and so we had it for use of the show. So it was kind of neat.
Yes, that's what
it was. So it was captured midday, and if you know anything about lighting, which of course we're all photographers, so we probably do, the lighting is at midday is more harsh. It's not as warm. You can see though how the film actually handled that really well, adding warmth, adding some contrast that was needed, and it worked out really well for that situation. And I think the film simulation recipe kind of can have a similar effect, adding the right amount of contrast, adding the right amount of warmth when you need it.
Yes, and actually, now that you mention that, I think a really good lesson to learn by looking at this picture is we very often think that the best time to shoot is early morning light or evening light, golden hour, get up in the middle of the night to get the best picture, forgetting that there are, especially in landscape photography or even architecture, there are times and reasons why you should shoot when the sun is coming straight up and down and doesn't cast shadows. And this is the perfect example. If this was at any other time of the day, a lot of this would be in the shadow and you wouldn't see all the details. So it is always to, take take a shot anyway, or think about those kinds of conditions before you go and head out wherever it is that you're going.
Yep. Yeah, you would definitely not be able to see down into the canyon. It would just be all dark black shadow. If it was like golden hour or something like that.
Yes, exactly. So, inspired by all of this, let's see, shall we, how the actual recipe fares compared to this. Not really any Grand Canyons photographed recently, but anyway.
No.
Let's dive into some of the sample shots that we have set aside to just show you guys what kind of images you can expect when you're shooting with this recipe.
Yeah, so this is another Arizona picture, over 20 years later than the last one. But it was during golden hour, during when you could see the dark shadows in it that you would get from being a little bit higher contrast recipe, and that the warmth of it you can really see on the mountain in the background and on the saguaro cactus, how it's all like yellow and golden.
Yes, very, very nice indeed. A nice, juicy landscape, a bit prickly on the sides.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome, this recipe to use for landscapes. I've tried it indoors, where it also gives you really nice results. It makes the colors pop. It's a nice, rich, warm, comforting kind of feel. I absolutely love the results that I got from it in that scenario. So there is where your versatility comes in again.
Yeah, and you see how the recipe does work well in like indoor artificial light situations in that picture.
Yes.
This is another cactus, another saguaro, um, also kind of golden hour lighting, and it's not really doesn't really show you anything different than the previous one did. But I like the picture, so that's why I chose it to share with you guys.
Yes, and we can tell that you are connecting with your new surroundings, and it looks like a very big cactus. So yeah, very nice, and I love how the green versus the blue cloudy sky contrasts each other. Lots of
No, thank you.
depth in that image. Not quite a cactus, but also a local plant to South Africa. It's a protea tree. If you know the flower, you may not know that it actually grows on trees, but it does. They are absolutely phenomenal, very fascinating, and I absolutely adore proteas. This one here, a tree that I captured on a hike, on an overcast, a little bit of a drizzly kind of a day. The mood was a lot more drab than in this picture. So if you have a dreary day, maybe try the recipe as well. It's got nice, vibrant, punchy colors and may lift your image a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that even though the sky looks almost white, that when you see the picture not through YouTube, you actually see a little more detail in those skies.
Yes.
And then the picture I chose, this is the last picture I chose. It was really weird, crazy, artificial light situation. Kind of a nightmare for if you're photographing, and it's just really mixed with just weird colors. And you can see how the recipe actually does in that kind of scenario. It actually does work. Um, it does look like there's some blown out highlights. It's again because of the YouTube and software limitations, but um, yeah, just don't be afraid to try this recipe in even the weirdest of light situations.
Yes, definitely. Very good to try indoors at night in artificial light. very interesting. Maybe you've shot with it already, since we've spoken about it since last Thursday. So if there's anyone watching who has shot with it already, maybe last weekend, and has some experiences, you're more than welcome to share them with us. Hit us up in the comments and let us know while we are watching here at looking at Spot as he's stealing the show. It gives me a reminder of last Thursday. This is where the stream. I'm like, let's quickly. It's the last of the sample images. And as you heard right at the beginning of the show, I really enjoyed the different colors in this image, how the greens pop, and his orange collar. So a really nice recipe to have with you when you are traveling on holiday, road tripping, just on a day out, where you will most definitely experience different lighting conditions and scenarios. Very good one to keep handy with you. And we hope that you will give it a lot of run for its money, a little bit of testing here and there, and we hope you get really good results with it.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody does capture with it. Since it is such a versatile recipe, it's warm and vibrant. I use it in many genres of photography, portraits, landscapes, street, anything you want, and in all sorts of different lighting conditions. Like we saw in the sample pictures, it's good for indoors, it's good for cloudy, it's good for daylight. You can use it in any of those. So, what you guys do with it, it'll be just really fascinating to see.
Yes, so please do try it in all sorts of different ways and share them with us so that we can see how this recipe fares when you test it. And we, as always, are super excited to see what you come up with and share with us. So, do that. There is not that much time since our timing is out and all over the place, but you have a good 2 weeks to try it and to upload your images.
Mm-hmm.
So please do that.
Awesome.
And we are going to have a look at the link quickly. We have, as always, the QR code that you can take a screenshot of that gets you to the download link, to the upload link rather. And so the link itself, wherever we communicate, you will find an upload link somewhere, and it's also in the show description to make sure that it's nice and easy for you to upload your images whenever you're ready. We ask you to share, your favorite 3 with us that we can show in the next episode. Please upload them by Tuesday, the 6th of December. So you have exactly 2 weeks to try this awesome recipe and to upload them. And let's see how you go.
Yeah, awesome. Looking forward to it.
And if you have any questions, please shoot them our way. We are here for you. Now we are here for you. So get your questions quickly.
Mm-hmm. As long as the show keeps going.
Yes, we're more than happy to answer live questions. And there is one from Dan, who's back with us as well. He says he's asking for any suggestions for this recipe for the GFX. Ritchie, I hand this question over to you.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on the GFX camera that you have. So there's like the 50R and the 50S, which are the kind of the older generations, and those are more like the XT3 and XT30 as far as the options. So if you set color chrome effect to off, you'll just be able to use it. But the shadows are going to be the biggest difference. The shadows are a little bit lighter in those GFX models, and I think going plus, adding additional shadow to it, increasing it by 1 will be too much. But I would say play with that and see if you like the recipe as it is, or if increasing the shadow by 1, if you like that better. And then as far as the newer GFX cameras, those are more like the newer X Trans 4 models, or even X Trans 5, in which case you might have a half stop increase in your shadows, and you might try that instead of going a full stop more, doing a half stop more. That might work out well. But additionally, you have to set color chrome effect blue to off, clarity to 0, and then pick the grain size. And I would still go with small on the grain size.
Okay, you can see Ritchie is like, he's like stirring the pot while he's mixing up,
adding a little seasoning, a little bit of spice in it,
a pinch a pinch of clarity.
Yep.
There's Randy saying that he's been shooting with the recipe almost exclusively on the X-T5. All right.
Awesome.
Got very nice colors. That's such great feedback.
That is. Thanks, Randy, for sharing that.
Excellent. Oh, now I'm even more like getting itchy fingers. And Stephen says, I shot shy of 400 images with it a couple of months ago while on a backcountry canoeing trip. I found it quite punchy and saturated. Preferably, personally, I preferred it in lower light. Okay, that's cool.
Good. So yeah, that's awesome.
If you're not into super vibrant colors, then, as the light fades, that is a very good idea.
And I look forward to seeing Steven's pictures.
Yes.
It sounds like he's got a lot to choose from.
Yes, I believe he shared with us in the first part of this episode that he shot the slide film a lot back in the day. So so that is obviously really cool. So he's excited about the recipe, and we're excited about the results. And that reminds me that also in the last episode, we ran a poll because we were quite curious to hear who of you has shot actual slide film. So we, thanks to the problems we had, we didn't really get to show the results of this poll. So we would love to ask you to do the vote again. We would like to run another poll and hear from you what, if you've shot slide film before, not if you would like to try it, what your experiences are. So we are getting this poll ready. I mean, all my minions in the background are loading the poll. So that should come into the comment section soon. And so apparently that has happened already. See, my minions are so fast and efficient. And unfortunately, I don't see that on my side. So so here we go. And we will share the results with you at some stage whenever our minions say it is time to do so. All right.
And is it really like the Despicable Me movies? Is it really like those minions in the background?
No, I hope not. Well, we sounded the beginning of the show.
That's funny.
When you listen to us speak really fast backwards,
it does kind of sound like it.
We might as well just be minions. But we're not yellow enough.
Yep.
So yeah, but all jokes aside, we, if you have any more questions, shoot them our way now in a little while. And while this is, while you've got the time to do that, we did run the lucky draw last week. So it got all really complicated because we did another live stream after we fell off. But then there was something wrong with the sound, etc., etc. So we did run the draw, but we decided to, pull the stream and redo it because it was just really not pleasant to watch it because there was lots of echo, etc., etc. But we had run the draw and we felt we needed to honor what we had drawn. So we have got a recording of the draw that we will show you now, so that you will also know who the winner is, and then we can all congratulate that winner together and extend the prize to the winner and so forth. So whenever you're ready, we will show you the recording, and then we will see you back right after that. Let us do our lucky draw. For everyone who submitted the images, you automatically enter, as you know, into the draw, and you stand a chance to win a 12-month subscription of the awesome Fuji X weekly app. So let's head on over to our wheel and let's go and spin that wheel to find out who this month's winner of the app is. Let's spin the wheel and let's find out. Thanks again to everyone who submitted. This is really awesome. The show couldn't be done without you. And here's a little thank you to you back for that. And the winner of the 12-month subscription is Bo. Congratulations. It's really cool. See? First time submission, already a winner. This is how quickly and easily it can go. Bo, if you're not watching at the moment, we will communicate with you and let you know that you have indeed won. And then please get in touch with us, that we can hook you up. And if you already are a subscriber, then please still get in touch with us so that we figure out how we can help you along. You're a winner, and thank you. Robert says congratulations, Bo. So clearly Robert found his way back onto the stream. That's great. Thank you. Excellent stuff. Thank you again for everyone for submitting.
And now we're back.
Quick wardrobe change.
Yeah. Well, it looks like I'm wearing the same shirt, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's funny. That's even confusing for us, but anyway. So congratulations again to Bo. We will get in touch. We will find you, or you will find us, whatever comes first.
Please reach out to us, Bo, if you're watching this or you catch it later, or if somebody out there knows who Bo is, even if you have, like Nathalie said in the pre-recorded or the previous pre-recorded video, that even if you have a subscription, just reach out to us. We'll do something. So, and congratulations for winning, for being the winner. Yay!
And if you're watching this for the first time and you didn't catch the first part, which obviously you need to go and watch now after this one, we get everyone entered into the draw who submitted an image of the recipe of the month, and we will show those images at the end of this show. So you stick around and watch those and submit your images so that you stand a chance to win a subscription yourself in the next show. And there's Torsten. He's asking how to reduce redness and greenness on white surfaces in artificial light.
So if you have red and green simultaneously, maybe on two different parts of a white surface, you're not really going to be able to reduce both of those, maybe only by reducing the amount of saturation, taking the color down. You can reduce red by moving towards green, or reduce green by moving towards red. And you would do that with white balance and white balance shift. Basically, if you're trying to take some warmth out of it and then make it more neutral, then you'll want to bring down the Kelvin value or move the shift away from red, and that'll take that away. But in the same sense, when you move away from red, you're moving towards green.
So it's
if that makes any sense.
One or the other. I can tell by the questions he's been asking, he's like cooking up something himself a little bit.
Could be.
Which is great.
Yeah, I love seeing people dive into their cameras and into the settings. That's really wonderful. And that's why we're doing this, because it's not so much about, following a recipe to the T. I've said many times, season to taste any recipe. But it's about finding what works for you. And if there isn't a recipe out there that you love that just works for you, it's great to dive in and try and figure out the settings that do work for you.
Yes, and play around with it to figure out, to see what an impact the different settings have to your JPEGs.
Yep.
So go forth and experiment.
But if you don't have any interest in that, or don't have the time and that kind of stuff, there's over 250 film simulation recipes on the Fuji X Weekly app for you to use and try. But it's always awesome when people do, in fact, like dig a little deeper into their cameras.
Exactly. Yeah. So all part and parcel of why we're even here, because if 250 sounds a little bit daunting for you, go with Ektachrome 100SW.
Yes.
So here is the result of the poll. Thank you so much. The answers to the question are: have you shot slide film? People say 40% have, but don't shoot slide film anymore. Then there was a 30% of people who replied that they have and still do shoot slide film, which is really interesting. And 20% say they are slightly curious, but haven't yet. And 10% just couldn't be bothered and much rather go with Ritchie's Ektachrome 100SW. Really interesting. Thank you so much for giving us your answers to the poll, for playing along. This is really cool. If you are interested in more of those and any other questions or topics that we should discuss in the show, please do send them along. We are always on the lookout for stuff to discuss. Like we always say, this show is for you, and we would love to discuss stuff that you would like to find out more about, or just discuss in general, or to get answers to some questions and things that you struggle with. So just, come here, shoot them our way. And
and so I identify in that poll. I didn't vote, but I would be in that 40% that shot slide film. I shot a lot of slide film, but I don't anymore. I actually have a few rolls that I still own, but just with Fujifilm cameras and the results that you can get straight out of camera, I've just really, over the last few years, have shot very little film. So I probably will shoot more slide film at some point in the future eventually, but I don't know when, and it might not be for a while.
Yes, and after last Thursday, there was a question about how you can figure out what film this, was actually shot on, looking at the actual film, because some film says what it is shot on, but often not it doesn't. And I pulled out a box where I knew I had some prints and slides and whatever floating around, and I was quite surprised that I actually did also shoot quite a lot of slide film. And I shot apparently a lot of Fuji slide film, so already then.
Okay.
Already then, I did that.
Those Fuji colors. Yep.
Yeah, clearly. Lots of green, grass, landscapes where I was. Yes, but I haven't found yet any resource where you can find out more about what kind of film it was. I'm very intrigued, so I will look a little bit further. I will update you on this. And Tostan is saying, after next Saturday, we will know more if I found and adapted the right recipe to photograph on the Comic-Con in Stuttgart. Aha, okay. This is what it was about. All right, cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, a lot of fun. Comic-Con is amazing and offers a lot of photo opportunities. So yeah, can't wait to see those pictures.
Yeah, and I've noticed that at these places, a lot of times the people who dress up and stuff, they actually really like to be photographed. And
Yes.
so, it's always, unless you're trying to do some like stealthy street photography stuff, it's always good to approach, and say, hey, do you mind if I take your picture? And a lot of times they're very happy to do it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm not jealous. Randy says there's a queue setting in the XT5 and possibly others called Program AE that acts like an 8th custom setting. Do you know about this and what it does?
No, I'm intrigued though. Very intrigued. Um, I got this. I'm gonna have to look at that.
Hey, nothing quite
Let's
like,
see here.
the power of now. Let's check it out.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
he's
Well, I
reading.
don't see it off the top of my head,
Richie,
but
book.
yeah, I'll have to look at that in as soon as the show's over and figure that out. I thanks for alerting me to that, and I'll
Yes.
figure it out. Well,
Yes.
one thing that they didn't include in the XT5 is the manual, and usually that's like the first thing while the battery's charging and that kind of stuff. I've flipped through the manual and just try and see if there's anything that stands out as new. But there's no manual in it. It's all online, so I haven't gone to the website to look through it on the internet.
All right. But at the same time, you don't have to wait for your camera to read the manual. So that's, hey.
Yes. While you're waiting for it to cross the ocean.
I shall do a little bit of reading online. Cool stuff.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you guys for all this. That's very
Mhm.
interesting. Thank you all for being so communicative again today. We have another comment from Randy, but I cannot read it because we've got the double situation.
Oh,
Okay.
I think it's the same one.
Comment. Okay, cool stuff. Thank you, Randy, for this. We will
Mhm.
and yeah, talk a bit more about that. Exciting stuff. Joe says it changes with the camera setting, shutter priority, aperture priority, or manual, etc.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool.
We'll research it and figure what the deal is with it, and maybe report back on blog post or on a future episode of this show.
Yes. The XT5 show.
Yeah. The special episode.
Yes. Excellent stuff. All right, but here it comes. We have a big announcement. As you know, it is really important to us that we get to know you. We want you to join us on the show. And we have thought of a special way to end season 2. So here it goes. We are going to go all out. As you can see, we will dress the part and, let our hair down and so forth. We want to have a huge, big festive celebration episode next month. And we want to invite you to join us. Not one guest like we have had in the past, but we want a lot of you to join us because, to be honest, it's been 2 years. It's about time we get to know you face to face. And we want to have a fun episode where it's not so much about learning and about exchanging technical, advice, etc. But we want to play some games, have some fun, look at some fun pictures that you share with us, and on top of it, to crown it, we said that we're going to create a recipe together, all of us, online during the show. So
That would be fun.
Yes, so we want to have a lot of fun. We don't want to scare you. We want to make live streaming, as pleasant an experience for you as possible. As previous guests to our shows maybe can, vouch that it is not as scary as it seems. Maybe the last 2 episodes didn't really help, but that was really out the ordinary. Usually, we may have a few blips here and there, but especially when there's a couple of us together, it would be really cool to have a conversation and to exchange, some stuff that's not necessarily so much around the technical. So how does that sound?
Yeah, we'll just chat about Fujifilm cameras, about film simulation recipes, about photography in general, whatever you want to talk about. We'll just have like a casual chat. So we would love for you to join us live to do that. It's a lot more fun when it's more than just me and Nathalie up here talking. When we can get you guys involved, that it just makes it so much better. So please, if you're available, join us live.
Yes, absolutely. It's the 8th of December. It's a second Thursday. We're back to the second Thursday of the month. Normality will, be reinstalled in the crazy time of the year. And there are a couple of people that we've reached out to before. So if you are watching this live right now and, we've spoken, maybe your initial hesitation is a little bit lessened by the fact that, there would be lots of us on the screen right now and we could all have, cool conversations. And maybe you think, I've taken so many images straight out of camera. There are a couple that are really funny and I have lots of funny stories to tell. Or I have what I feel is an inspirational story to tell, or whatever comes to mind. We would love to hear it. We would love to meet you. We would love to see, what we can come up with together. So if that sounds anywhere remotely interesting to you, then please give a shout out. You are more than welcome to give us, a shout out in the comment section now. You can comment #SOOC live guest, or give us a comment, reach out any other way to us to This is cool. Dan, man of the moment, sounds fun. That is great. We are glad it does. We hope it will be. So Dan's with us. Stephen thinks it's a great idea. That's wonderful. We can see. We'd always love to have you back on the show. So let's chat. Let us hear, in messages, whatever. And the people that I've reached out before, let's speak and see. Let's see what we can come up with. We have a very flexible, a very enthusiastic audience today, because they had to jump around live streams to, find the right stream. So definitely,
I know.
And spontaneous. So that's great. I absolutely love it. I love your spirit. You guys rock. That's really awesome. And so I'm super.
It'll be fun.
And we will communicate more about this, and then do it again in just over 2 weeks' time already.
Yep.
So that's it.
Oh, that's the end?
And that's the end.
Oh, that's sad.
It's not.
No, I'm glad we were able to do this show, finish up where we got cut off, on the last episode. So we were able to finish up do the part 2 and do our special announcement. And I can't wait for just over 2 weeks. And we'll have a great time, a festive time, celebrate the season and celebrate Fujifilm. So definitely tune in, join us live. It'll be really good.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm super excited. And after, chatting to all of you guys online today, I'm even more excited for the next episode. So here's to one last episode of 2022 I can't believe I'm saying that. It's been such a ride, and that thanks to so many here online and offline, and first and foremost, obviously, to you, Ritchie. Your work is so inspirational and keeps us on our toes. It's really great. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. It's really an honor to be on the show and to be able to help other photographers and help the Fujifilm community and be a part of it. And it's such a wonderful community, and probably the best in all of photography, maybe the best in all of technology. So you guys rock, and you're awesome, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Ritchie. So yeah, great. So that really sums it up. So we want to see you again Thursday, 8 December. We will, have one stream, one link.
Hopefully.
And up until then, shoot some awesome JPEGs and keep rocking that ground, and then we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
That sounds great.
Right after this, the slideshow from last week. Don't go anywhere. A couple more minutes to watch some really awesome images. Thanks to all the viewers and the audience. And time to say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Nathalie. It was a good way to spend the morning.
Goodbye, Ritchie. Audience.
Time to refill, and then take this out, and
Yes, I will change water to something else for this evening, and wish you all a good night, a good day, and keep safe and healthy. And until next time.
Bye.